Ready? Two, one, two, one, two, three, four. Good morning, Unity Atlanta Church. Yeah, a little jazz in the morning, right? That was Now's the Time, Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker, a favorite of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Oh, let us turn our thoughts today to Martin Luther King and recognize that there are ties between us, all men and women. women living on the earth, ties of hope and love, sister and brotherhood, that we are bound together by the desire to see a world become a place in which our children can grow free and strong. We are bound together by the task that stands before us and the road that lies ahead. We are bound, we are bound. There is a feeling like the clenching of a fist. There is a hunger in the center of the chest. There is a passage through the darkness and the mist. And though the body sleeps, the heart will never rest. Shed a little light, oh Lord, so that we can see. Just a little light, oh Lord. I wanna stand it on up, stand it on up, oh Lord. Wanna walk it on down, shed a little light, oh Lord. Can't get no light from a dollar bill. Don't give me no light from a TV screen. When I look in my eyes, I wanna drink my fill from the well on the hill. I know you know what I mean. Shed a little light, oh Lord, so that we can see. Just a little light, oh Lord. I wanna stand it on up, stand it on, stand it on, stand it on up, oh Lord. Wanna walk it on down, shed a little light, oh Lord. Shed a little light, oh Lord. There is a feeling like the clenching of a fist. There is a hunger in the center of the chest. There is a passage through the darkness and the mist. And though the body sleeps, the heart will never rest. Oh, let us turn our thoughts today to Martin Luther King and recognize that there are ties between us. Oh, men and women living on the earth, ties of hope and love, of sister and brotherhood.
Good morning, Unity Atlanta. That was a beautiful song with words that we can all heal from. Let us enter into this place of prayer where we center ourselves into the spirit that we are going to experience this morning. Heavenly Creator, God of our being, we open to your presence right now and we allow that light that was initially ignited in us from our inception and conception to come forward and shine brightly, because it's more than just a little light. And we allow it to emanate this place so that we become one with the Spirit of you. And in that Spirit, we feel the love that lets us know that we're connected to everyone and everything. And we lift up all those light bearers that have come to teach us just how to do that in their bodies. From Jesus the Christ to Martin Luther King, to Gandhi, to so many men and women who know that the light emanates from them, that is from God. And that if they connect to that light, they become light bearers and they become doers of the work of that which has shown us the way. And so right now we lean into your presence. We lean into your wisdom. We lean into your love. We lean into your power, because we know that love is the most powerful energy in the universe. And as we are in love, because you loved us first, we become the light of love in the world. And so it is, and it is so. Good morning, everybody.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Cedric, for that beautiful opening prayer. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Namaste. The Spirit in me truly welcomes, honors, embraces, and rejoices in the Spirit in you. We are in for a fabulous treat today. Reverend Dr. Cedric Gardner is here with us to help us as we continue in this series that we began last Sunday, Timeless Wisdom for our spiritual journeys, to tap into the incredible spiritual power of love in word, in song, in connections. I hope that you will fully feel and be part of the love that we are igniting, shining from us as bright lights this Sunday morning. And so whether you are here in the sanctuary, tuning in from our Unity Atlanta Church worldwide, beloved community, we are so grateful. And whether you've been working this New Thought spiritual practice for years and years and years, or you just joined us today for the very first time, know that you are here by divine appointment. And we are grateful that you're here. If you are here in the building for the very first time, please say hi to me and our board members so we can make sure we get you a welcome packet and bring you in officially to the Unity Atlanta Church community. We're so grateful to have you here. One of the greatest things that love does is it recognizes the presence of God in all others. We love doing that. Literally, love is a verb when we get together and say namaste. If you want to wish somebody happy Sunday in our virtual community, come up to the microphone, just talk and look at the camera and say namaste. Let us greet one another now and say namaste. Namaste. Happy Sunday. Oh, it's fabulous to have you with us.
Namaste.
Namaste.
My heart singing.
Namaste.
Namaste. The cross in me beholds the Christ in you. Namaste. 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 Namaste.
Good morning to everyone. Namaste.
My heart singing.
Namaste.
Namaste, y'all.
The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste, y'all. Have a beautiful
Namaste.
Sunday.
Namaste. My heart singing.
Oh, wow.
Namaste.
Namaste.
The Christ in me, behold.
Namaste.
the Christ
So glad you're
in
here.
you.
Especially
Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
Morning. Namaste.
Namaste. My heart singing. Namaste.
Namaste. And good morning. It looks beautiful from here, looking at you. And thank you so much for coming out to join us in worship. Hello? It was on. Okay. I'm glad to see you this morning. And as we always do, see how resilient we are? And how we show each other love by giving each other mics. What we always like to do at least once a month is to celebrate those who have birthdays in that month. Any January birthday babies, please stand. And if you're out there, we're celebrating you too. And our birthday banner baron and his associate come forth now, yes, to raise the excitement. Because it is, it is definitely a gift to know Clay and his associates. He's the birthday banner baron, so whenever you see Clay, make sure you give him his proper props, okay? But I was doing a little research, and I found out that January is the coldest month of the year in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, it's the warmest month. If you were born in January, don't pay that any attention, because your warmth, no matter where you are, flows from your heart. I also learned, or was reminded, that January is named after the Roman god Janus, who had two heads. One of his heads looked backwards and the other looked forward. Okay? And what I would say to you, birthday babies, is that don't look back unless looking back will help you to move forward in love. So we all say to you, happy birthday. Keep it moving and celebrate who you are. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Clay and Cynthia, and those out in the audience with the noisemakers. Can't forget you. Please now join us in affirming our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, God, the good omnipotence. Our daily word for today is a classic daily word from May 1963. The daily word for today is power of love. The affirmation is, the power of love is expressed through me, and all is well with me and my world. The scripture is from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. Love never fails. The reading says, when we follow the news or any media, we may be tempted to believe that the love of power prevails in people's minds and hearts. However, despite appearances, the truth is that the power of love is always seeking expression through everyone. The power of love that is within each one of us seeks to unite us all in thought, purpose, and understanding. The power of love expressed through us enables us to see that we are truly one community, one world. The power of love in us helps us to bless and to uplift. All of us, right where we are at this very moment, can express the power of love. we can express kindness, patience, and understanding. As we establish ourselves in love, we help to establish the power of love in our world. Truly, the love of power no longer has a place in our mind and heart. The power of love now prevails. Again, the daily word for today is power of love. And the affirmation is, the power of love is expressed through me, and all is well with me and my world. Namaste. Now let us prepare for meditation.
I went up to the mountain because you asked me to. Up over the clouds to where the sky was blue. I could see all around me. Everywhere I could see all around me. Everywhere. Sometimes I feel like I've never been nothing but tired. And I'll be working till the day I expire. Sometimes I lay down. No more can I do. But then I go on again, because you asked me to. Some days I look down, afraid I will fall. And though the sun shines, I see nothing at all. Then I hear your sweet voice. Oh, come and then go. Come and then go, telling me softly, you love me so. The peaceful valley just over the mountain. The peaceful valley few come to know. I may never get there, ever in this lifetime. but sooner or later it's there I will go. Sooner or later, it's there I will go.
That was the perfect song to put us in the spirit of meditation. So let us go to that place where all things come together as one. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths together, breathing in and release. Breathing in and release. Breathing in and release with a sigh. Heavenly Creator, here we are at the precipice of the mountain, opening up to your Spirit. And as it moves out through us and into us and around us, we become pure light. Just as in the beginning, when God said, "Let there be light," and light was allowed, right now, we allow the light to enter our body temples. And as we are in this light, we think of the light bearer, Martin Luther King. What it took in his eloquence of words, in his strong, powerful stamina, to create positive change in this world. And we have to bring in his wife, Coretta Scott King, who was indeed the person who ushered in the national holiday and the Martin Luther King Center for Nonviolent Social Change. Beacons of light. Join together in physicality, join together in spirit. And they said, "Let there be light." And light was allowed. Probably not an easy journey. Probably many turns in the pathway, but always headed upward to the mountaintop. And right now we take that journey to that mountaintop. Sun shining on our heads as we take the walk upward, feeling the power of love as it transforms us to be beyond our egos and to be in that place that Jesus the Christ told us about. The light of love. The light that makes you know that you are connected. The light that begins to take you beyond your ego so that you can love without condition. We know our conditions are so firm. We've spent so much time knowing who we are, our own proclivities. And the whole purpose of knowing who we are is to know how we connect with everything outside of us. And really, our business is not another's personality. It's really to connect to that part of them, which is their connection with that Spirit of God. And that's why we say, Namaste. And so in our Namaste experience, as we walk upward the mountain, the light shining on our heads, providing warmth, our heart opens into a beautiful flower of love. We'll call it a white rose. And we allow that white rose to be luminescent, iridescent, emblematic of the love and power that resides within our body temples. And we get to the mountaintop and we look out. We see the eagles flying beyond any storm. And we know that too can be us. We feel the peace that passeth understanding. And we know peace we've been given, not as the world has peace, but as our Creator pieced this universe. And we remember that there are not only stars above us, but there are also stars below our feet and below this planet. And when we think about the stars below this planet, we are ushered into our rightful place that we live on a planet, 3 planets from the sun, that we are tilted at 45 degrees and spiraling literally in the heavens, that we don't have to die to go to heaven. We can have that experience right here and right now this morning. And so as we remember that we are heavenly beings, having a heavenly experience right here in the physicality of the earth that we live, we have opened up to the wonder of God, where we live, where we reside, and the vastness and abundance become part of our experience. We realize that we don't have to get more abundance. We really just have to align with the abundance of where we live. So many stars that we can't count all around this planet. We are but a speck in the Milky Way. And yet scientists have found millions more galaxies. As my grandmother would say, the longer I live, the longer I live. And so we realize that we are living at a time where we are being ushered into the light of love. And it's not some weak love. It is powerful beyond measure, more vast than we can ever imagine. We are that power. And so as we sit and stand at the top of that mountain this morning and feel the power just of where we live, we usher into the stillness, and we let that Spirit uniquely minister to that Spirit that is within us. Heavenly Spirit, we give thanks that you ushered us in to this place this morning. And there are so many people that are not in this place, but in the very same space that we are virtually. And as we are here together on this morning, let us be the beacons of the beloved community. Some would call it the beloved community, where love becomes the precedent. And we use its power to bring about the justice that we desire in the world. And somehow we do not leave anyone out. Because although we have different ideas and concepts and experiences, we all come together in one Creator. And that Creator is just love. May we aspire to be that which has created us. And so it is. And amen.
One, two, three, four. Spirit told me one day I'll find peace in every way, but in search for the clue, wrong things I was bound to do. Keep my head to the sky for the clouds to tell me why. As I grew and with strength, Spirit kept me as I repent and said, keep your head to the sky. Oh, keep your head to the sky. You gave me the will to be free, purpose to live is reality. And I found myself never alone. Chances came to make me strong. Step right up do what you can, 'cause you need faith to understand. So we're saying for you to hear, keep your head in faith, Miss Clear. Oh, keep your head to the sky, so the clouds can see you. Keep your head to the sky, so that the time you are alone, keep your head to the sky. Surely the clouds are gonna tell you why. You gave me the will to be free. Purpose to live is reality. When I found myself never alone, 'cause chances come, they came to me as strong. Step right up, down that hat. All you need faith is understand, or something just saying for you to hear. Keep your head, faith's in atmosphere. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Keep your head to the sky. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Keep your head to the sky. Oh, keep your head. Don't walk around with your head hung down. Oh, surely, 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 surely the clouds are gonna tell you why. Keep your head to the sky. Keep your head to the sky. Keep your head to the sky. Keep your head to the sky.
Thank you so much. It is truly my honor today to introduce a colleague and a friend in ministry, Reverend Dr. Cedric Gardner, who is a native Atlantan. He is Dean Emeritus of the Barbara King School of Ministry and an Associate Minister at Hillside International Truth Center. He has degrees in economics and psychology from Duke University, teaching and ministerial study degrees from Emory School of Medicine, and master's and doctoral of divinity degrees from the College of Metaphysical Studies, as well as a Master of Divinity from the Theological Institute for Transpersonal Psychology. This is a smart person we have here. Reverend Dr. Cedric also is a certified master life coach and president of Innovative Access Marketing, Inc., which does health and marketing consulting. In addition, not only is he a smart person, he is a heart-centered person who travels the world on spiritual peace missions with the White Rose Foundation, and their goal as an organization is to unite all the major religions as different spokes of the one wheel of God. Reverend Dr. Cedric is especially excited to be with us this morning because he began his New Thought Unity journey at the age of 21 at Unity Atlanta Church when Jay Dishman was senior minister. We have a Master Truth student with us this morning. Everyone, please join me in a big round of applause to welcome Reverend Dr. Cedric Gardner.
God bless you. Wow. Namaste. Namaste. It does, in a sense, feel like coming back to a beginning. It's a full circle moment for me. And so I'm just kind of honored. And that high voice that you just heard singing that song, that was a person who went to high school with me. I mean, that's how all this stuff is like rewinding. That we have been connected ever since. We were the only people probably in my high school who meditated. And our lives were just, and then probably the story of her mother and me first meeting is a story of what that beloved community could be. I won't tell the story, Joy, but you know how you meet someone and it may not be positive at first, and then at some point they are so endeared to you that whatever you say, they welcome in your whole life, and that you end up being the person to officiate their memorial service. I mean, that is testament of what we are here to talk about this morning, how that love just wins, because it is powerful. We're talking about energy shifters, and I'm talking to y'all because I know what you know, and you know that your thoughts create your reality. I mean, I know that there's a title which is The Beloved Community, when love uses its power to enact justice. I did my doctorate in, it took me 30 years in 3 schools. Because, life kept happening. I started off in public health, and then I was in divinity. I studied both of those. And then at some point, it was like, what do you really want to study? And at some point, I worked at the Carter Presidential Center and on a program called Not Even One Death of a Child Due to Firearms is Acceptable. Because President Carter saw what we know now long before Columbine. And I was there with about 4 or 5 other ministers in the interfaith health program, and they were always talking about this beloved community. And all of a sudden I realized, I really don't know what that is. I have a fuzzy feeling about it. Seems like a good thing, but I don't know what it is. So if there's any one thing I'd like to study, it is that thing at this point. Public health didn't get me there, but it got me part of the way. Divinity won't even get me there. What is that thing that brings it all together that is something real concrete and powerful that we can use? And I thought, well, beloved community. Now, they used to always talk about it, and I was like, yeah. But the truth is that I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how it works. I didn't know how it acts. And so I studied it. And after, 600, 700 pages later, I summed it up in one sentence. The beloved community, when love uses its power, because love can be powerful. It can change and transform and shift. Jesus showed us this. To enact justice, because it's not enough for that fuzzy love, sentimentality. You have to be able to do something to literally see change in the world. So I'm going to start this morning with this song that I learned at Unity, Reverend Jen. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and her grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Right there, a place where we all come together. And so really how I would paraphrase that title is the beloved community or beloved community. Bernice says beloved, Bernice King. Dr. King said beloved. The beloved community, when my tribe meets your tribe, and we call them one. Because, that's really what it's about. Because, I have my tribe, and there's a lot of different categories. I could talk about my tribe, and I'm sure you can too. And we're always looking out for our tribe first. But if we know that we're all connected and we're all one, when does your tribe meet my tribe and it can be treated with the same value you have as your tribe? When can it happen? We know that Jesus talked about Jews and Gentiles. I think that was the beginning of talking about my tribe and not just my tribe. But it's really interesting because even with Jesus, he didn't really get the full lesson until he had been resurrected. And it was as if he reconciled all of that stuff within him, all the traditions and the religion that he had grew up with. And we know that they all have some judgments. I do a prayer line with someone, and there was something in Science of Mind that said, just look at how you judge. Spend a day and just look how you judge. And we both were like, we don't judge because, we've been in this thing for a long time. There's just really no judgment. And then I just spent a day, and at the end of the day, I went, wow, how much judgment did I do? I have judgments that my parents gave me that no longer serve me. They gave me to protect me that I still hold, the way I navigate in the world. And I thought, can I let go of those things that no longer serve me? I know they gave them to me to help me protect myself in the world, but can I let go of some of those? Didn't even know I had them. But there were places I didn't go just because of what my parents said. There were people I didn't deal with just because of what my parents told me. And I thought, that no longer serves me. At some level, I can be around anybody, and I do mean anybody, and find that place of spirit of God in them and just deal with that thing. And as I've explored that and see all these uncommon people that are flocking around, and people go, why are they flocking around? It's like, because I don't deal with the fact that they're bipolar, schizophrenic, and all these other titles. I just find that place where God is, and we commune there, even if there's no words. And oftentimes, it's better when there are no words. I think you feel me. Because this is what I've realized. Everybody is coming with their own perspective. And their perspective is laced with their past hurts, doubts, fears, and anxieties. You will never have the exact same as anybody else. So why are you spending your time arguing about all these things that really don't matter? I was responsible for my great aunt, who was known as I got these notes, but I'm just kind of feeling spirit, so I'm just going to have to talk to you. I was responsible for dealing with my great aunt, like taking care of her, because that's what my mother did. Once my mother transitioned, I had her. She was known as the meanest person in the family. I hope no family members are watching. But she was never mean to me or my sister. That was really interesting. And Reverend Angela, when we were in School of Ministries, told me she was just preparing you to take care of her when you were old. And I would have these arguments with her about these things because I'm caring for her. No, you cannot have cough syrup every day or whatever it was. And we have this major argument about something. And then the next day, I was going, well, it's just like when you said you could. And she was like, I didn't say that. And I realized, I spent all that energy arguing, and the next day you don't even remember the argument. I'm the crazy one for engaging in all this dialogue about something that really didn't matter. Let it go. Just say yes, and then don't give her everything she asked for, but say yes. So Jesus didn't talk to a whole lot of Gentiles as we see in the book. There were two. There was Pontius Pilate. He talked to him the longest. That was right before he was being crucified. And one of the stories of that, which I think is very informative for us to learn from, is he said, there was one of the, Sadducees, and he said, well, they say you're the Messiah. Who do you say you are? And Jesus knew, this is a little trick thing. And so Jesus said to him, well, who do you say I am? And the man got kind of ticked at that. So the man just called him every kind of vile word. That, in that culture means you just slap me and defame my character. And you know what Jesus said? He said nothing. He said nothing. And even Pontius Pilate said, I'm really impressed with a man who can be called every kind of vile name and not have to react. And so what I study in Jesus is how is he dealing with, because what I realized is that he really didn't engage in duality too much. When we talk about the story where they say they're in the circle and they have the stones, they're ready to stone the lady, and they say, Jesus, she's an infidel. The word says we're supposed to stone her. And what does Jesus do? He kneels down. He writes in the sand. To me, that was meditation. I don't care what you call it. When you do that, that's like, he's looking for the place beyond the argument. You see? You can find that in God, in your very breath. And when he finds that place, he stands up and says, well, he who is without sin cast the first stone. What happens to the argument? It's just like, we used to play Pac-Man game, and that little thing that just disappears. That's what it's like. The argument is just gone. Like, the people like, yeah, let's get the energy, and the people gone. Because, as I said to Reverend Chen, when you engage in duality, it's like being in a tennis match with Serena Williams. You hit, and she's going to go, fa, 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 to the point where you're not going to win. So somebody has to take a deep breath and find that place beyond the argument and say that. You see, that's what he was doing. Say that. And if you cannot find that place or those, I practiced it. It really works. There's been some times I was about to really go off on some people. I took the deep breath, and God showed me something beyond my understanding. And when I answered it, they start to cry. And I go, God, you're so magnificent. Because I was really about to go for them. I was really about to go in, and you showed me in my very breath how I find the place beyond the argument. And then when I say that, argument just disappears. And then we know he talked to the next person he talked to the longest was a woman, the Canaanite woman. And he still had certain judgments of what he was supposed to do with Gentiles, who they were. So what I found is that if they engaged him and came to him in what he thought was pure and faith, he answered that call. But he didn't necessarily go out seeking them. Once he was resurrected, and he had the full authority for all people in his perspective, that's when he told his disciples, go out and reach them all. Jews and Gentiles. And that is what before us today, that's what Martin Luther King was doing with the beloved community. He was saying, we are in this thing together. And we have different perspectives. How can we find a place where we can constructively do something together that changes this world for the better? How can we find a place beyond the argument where there the Spirit of God lives? And that we could really be that unconditional love. Because I practice the unconditional love thing, and it is not easy. I am not professing that it is easy, because I got some judgments. I really do. I have to realize I got some judgments. Like, you know, if you don't love me like this, it's not the kind of love I want. But what I found recently is just God is yoking me to be bigger, to be greater, to be, I know there's a person just last week or so that I just told off and just said, you know, you really need to do this about your life, and do this and do this and do this. And then the Saturday after the snow, when there was still snow on the ground, was a person who called me and said, my stay at the hotel is out that the church was putting me up in, and will you come and pick me up? And I thought, pick you up? I was very happy not to have to deal with pick you up. And then the person said, I'm cold out here. And there was something in my heart that said, this is right down the street. Even though you said you weren't going to drive here anywhere today, go pick them up. That's an idea of the beloved community, that I'm willing to go beyond my own judgments to say, can I find a place of love where we meet, where you know this person who barely knows you, but you call, is willing to reach out and get you out of a cold, snowy street. And it's literally my street. So I didn't have very much excuse of not. I just didn't want to be sequestered with somebody who I didn't want to be. But I figured out a way beyond that, if you know what I mean. You know, because it's like, if I pick you up, then I'm responsible for you. It's no, where, you know, where I send you. But, you know, really, I think the best example for me in terms of oneness was Ruth in the book of Ruth. You know, Naomi's husband had transitioned, that's the word we use, for died. Husband had transitioned, both her sons had transitioned. She says to her daughter-in-laws, well, I'm going to go back to my home, which is Jewish. You all not necessarily being traditionally Jewish, you probably should go back to your places now. And Ruth says to her, in Ruth 1:16, do not urge me to leave you or to turn back from following you. For where you go, I will go. And where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people will be my people. And your God will be my God. That is an example for us all, to someone who could put aside all of the things that God even, and say, there's something about you that's told me I'm going to be okay in and around you. And, you know, we know the story. She prospered. You know, and we would say, go in the field and do this. And she would meet the person who's going to take them to the next level. And that they were both prospered. She married. You know, people always looking for their Boaz. But it's just an example that if you're willing to stretch beyond your own conditions of love, what the universe does with that energy, because we're talking energy, and you all are energy shifters. You've already been prepared for it, so you're the ideal people to implement the beloved community. You know it's about energy. Jesus knew it was about energy. When he said, you know, do good to those who persecute you, and love your enemies, he wasn't saying be a footstool for that person who's going to abuse you. He was saying you have to shift the energy. And the only way you shift the energy is to love them. Because as you're loving them, doing good things for them, in your mind, they stop being an enemy. And if you do it for long enough, no matter how long it takes, you shift their mind where they no longer see you as an energy. So you can engage in duality if you want to, but if you want to shift the energy shifters, then you have to come with love. Because it's the only thing that'll get you there. Only thing. So what is this beloved community? I can tell you it's a redeeming love. It's a revolutionary love. It's a reconciliatory love. That word reconcile, you see I talked about Jesus reconciling within himself. You know that Nelson Mandela and Bishop Desmond Tutu took this African myth that said there would be a consciousness born in the southern part of Africa, and it would move up through that continent and throughout the world. And they decided we're going to do reconciliation to get us beyond apartheid. And I happened to be in South Africa on a spiritual peace mission when this was going on, and I saw Winnie Mandela, and I thought, why is she on trial? And what they said to me is everybody had to come forward and to say what they did for us to move forward. And I knew that Nelson Mandela, that's what happened to him. While he was in prison, he reconciled within himself, I've not always done right. I've killed people in the sake of this ambition that I have for apartheid not to be over. That is also not right. And he reconciled that within himself while he was in prison, and he just was love. So his guards, no matter what they did to him, he just espoused love towards them. So much so that they would have to change the guards regularly because, you know, if someone's loving you while you're beating them down, they shift. So because he had that personal experience of what reconciliation did for him, you see, he knew how to offer it to the world. And I just believe, I don't care what you think, because I have studied this stuff, and I don't consider myself slow or dumb. I believe we are ripe for a time where reconciliation ushers us into this beloved community. I believe that if you look at all the things on the outside and you see things that may not be happening in the way that you like them, can you meet that with love? I had a spiritual teacher say to me, you know, every 4 years there's a different president, and half of the people of the country spend their whole 4 years being against that president. What would happen if everybody just agreed to work with the person who was in office? What would happen in the country? And I thought, well, that's a novel idea, lady. It's just usually not how we're yoked. You know what I mean? And then it just became evident to me this time, for some reason, can I find a place of love? How I did it last time is I just saw a person as a 12-year-old boy who was never good enough for the father, who everything he was saying was to that father. And I go, look at the little 12-year-old. I understand. This time I'm just working on just loving, so that means I don't listen to a lot. I can say to you that I have typically been a CNN junkie. I didn't even know why why the inauguration was inside. I didn't even know why. Because I've just so been disengaged, because it's like, I'm just going to work on emanating love. And it means I can't listen to all of these things talking about it from a certain perspective, because I'm working on just loving people. And I got work to do, because I got judgments that I didn't know I had, some left over from what my parents gave me that don't serve me now. So I got enough work on me to figure out how I love people in general. Yeah, I really don't have time to engage. I mean, different from you, I think I'm not allowed to make anything the other. Anything that I make the other, God literally makes me eat it. I can tell you, I got a kidney of a 18-year-old white boy 12 years ago. And I knew that there were parts of my DNA that had not been raised with how my mother knows that you respect elders. And I had Dr. Barbara, who was well in her 80s, Miss Sadler, well in her 80s, and there would be times I was about to say something to them, and it's like, boy, you know how you were raised. You better fix those. I literally, in my body, knew there is something in my body that has not been trained by my mother. What do I do with that? I work on saying, you don't get the lead. I'll lead, but I will acknowledge this energy, this nuanced energy, DNA that's a part of me. And I will let it inform me about a generation that I don't know much about. But I won't let it take precedent of who I am. That's reconciliation. That's really taking the stuff within you, making it be something more than what it is. And you know, a lot of people say, this beloved community, you know, it's all good, but what they're talking about in this type of love is the agape love. Understanding and creative, redemptive goodwill for all men, people, an overflowing love which seeks nothing in return. Agape love is the love of God, operating in the human heart. You see? Dr. Martin Luther King, from Loving Your Enemy, summary of the characteristics and elements. Love is a fuel for creating the beloved community. But to create the beloved community, love has to operate in tandem with justice and power. What is needed is a realization that power without love is reckless and abusive. And that love without power is sentimental and anemic. You get it? Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. Justice at its best is love correcting everything that stands against love. So there you go. And, you know, when we're talking about nonviolence, Coretta Scott King, I think, put it so eloquent when she said, I must remind you that starving a child is violence. Suppressing a culture is violence. Neglecting children, school children, is violence. Punishing a mother and her family is violence. Discriminating against a working man is violence. Ghetto housing is violence. Ignoring medical need is violence. When I was at Emory working on that, Emory School of Medicine, working on a Master Public Health degree, there were only 2 countries who did not provide all of its basic citizens with health care, United States and South Africa. And I thought, I guess if you don't want people to thrive, just don't give them health insurance, and they won't survive, so you don't have to worry about them. That's violent. Wrap your mind around that. Contempt for poverty as violent. So, how do we get there together? I think it is communities just like this. You know, when Jay Dishman transitioned, I was at Unity, I was like 21, 22, 23, 24, driving on the other side of town, Chamblee, Dunwoody, to come to a church, parking in an office complex to then have a bus take me over to the campus of the church. Didn't look like the churches I had grown up in. But I was taking meditation classes. And I had gone to church with my mother, my good Baptist church. I won't say the name, but it's still big and good and wonderful. And the minister was up there, and he had a net. He had a prop. You asked me if I need an audio piece. He had a prop, and I was like, well, you know, I'm pretty colorful, so I won't use props. So he had a prop. He had a net. He said, you got to throw the net for the devil. You got to catch the devil in the net. And first of all, I have been reading New Thought books since I was like 12 and 13. I don't know why, but I was reading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Mercer at like 13 years of age. I was destined to be the dean of the Barbara King School of Ministry. It's just clear. My friends were reading Flower in the Attic, and I was reading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I don't know why. It fell off the shelf one day, and I just let the book after book after book after book. So I had read myself out of the devil. I just didn't believe it as a concept. I know that there's light and there's darkness. I know that anytime you bring light into darkness, darkness dissipates. So I don't spend a lot of time looking at the darkness. You can learn from it all. There are things that we've learned to do at night that are very productive, and we don't call it all bad. Most of us was probably created at night. Not all bad. You figure out things to do with it. There are things that happened to you in your life you thought was the worst thing that could possibly ever happen 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And today you're like, I don't know what it took, but I'm so glad I'm not over there anymore. Now, how many people, raise your hands, are there? Exactly. I'm not the only one. So all of this stuff can be used. And that's what Martin Luther King said. All of it can be used. We are not going to agree on everything. But the thing is to engage in a way of dialogue where love is the present, where you know that just because you have a different opinion doesn't mean I'm going to make you a bad person and push you out of a community. We're going to keep working on it and keep working on it and keep working on it till we get better and better solutions. It just means that I know that I was created by the same entity that created you. And no matter how you look and how you think, we have that in common. Let me start there. Let me start with the place of commonality. Let me start that we're created by the same beingness. So, there's a pledge. And you can go to the King Center and join the Be Love Pledge. It's called Be Love because Bernice King says, you know, we've talked about it, we've worked about it, we've pontificated about this beloved community. It's time to just be it, to be love. And that's what I'm practicing. Not perfect at it, but I'm just practicing being love. And the people that know me know that that is what I'm practicing. I have scars from it. I don't let the scars stop me because there's something that's happening to my heart that is reconciling me into how God loves me. And every day, that's my goal, to love like God loves me without judgment, without conditions, just pouring in love. That's what the prodigal son is like, right? That he squandered the money, but when he walked back near, it was the father looking out after him. And the father runs to him, brings him in, gives him the ring, the coat, the celebration. That's what God is like for us. When we turn into that energy, we get the whole universe. And then there's other brothers that say, well, I've been here all the time and I ain't get it. It's like you always had it. You see? What more did you need? You always had it. It was against the ritual. You know, firstborn is supposed to get everything, take care of everybody. This son asked for his first. All out of character, all out of culture. What do you do with that? When it comes back into the fold, you just welcome it back in. So here's the pledge. I acknowledge three things. The violence, oppression, inequity, injustice, and hate in our world has to stop. I have a responsibility and a role to play in ensuring social change for a more just, humane, equitable, and peaceful world. 3, the decision is mine whether to do nothing in this moment or to have the courage to stand up for justice. 3 simple things. I pledge to promote unity and refuse to perpetrate or magnify division. I pledge to demonstrate a life of courage, care, and compassion as I boldly confront anything that stands in opposition to love. People who don't want people to love, what's that about? By signing and honoring this pledge, I am helping to create the beloved community. And a footer, beloved, the beloved community is fuel for unconditional love. Feels like family and transcends race, religion, and class. That's Miss Coretta Scott King. What I say to you is that there's a lot of things happening in the world, and there's a lot of things happening, in particular, in this country at this point. Can you find a place of love? Because when we're doing that, we're really doing what God does for us. And I always say, why would you not offer the same thing that's been offered to you to another person? And then we get there together, and it's not the division, it's where we come together in oneness. We are one, and I know that I've been brought here systematically with somebody who went to high school with me, and all of these connections, people work together because God is showing something beyond our bodies. Will we be able to listen and hear and feel that at some point everybody in this space, including the virtual space, is one? Now, what do we do? And so it is. Amen. I'm done.
Reverend Dr. Cedric, thank you so much for sharing that message. Unity Atlanta Church. That was practical spirituality. That was practical spirituality. If you've ever had the thought in your mind, what is practical spirituality? How am I supposed to do this? What do I do with that stuff Rev Jen said? Did you hear him talk about energy? He and I didn't even talk about energy. And here I was last week saying to y'all, you know, energy follows your thought. Energy flows from your intention. The energy that we put out there can be light and can be love. We get to decide that. And I want to say Thank you for all the ways that you invest in Unity Atlanta Church as a place that you can come on a Sunday morning to hear you're not the only one who's had a judgment about something or other, that you're in community, and together in community, we encourage one another to be love and light. And all the literal funds that you give to this community allow us to offer all the programs and groups and all the things that we do. So whether you give by Cash App or Venmo, or if you're still discerning your pledge for 2025, we're holding that consciousness of a balanced budget. Thank you for leaving your pledge in the pledge box, whatever way you give, money in the basket in the back. It just says, this is my investment in my spiritual community, because I got to use this practical spirituality for the rest of the week. And I say thank you for all the ways you give. Let's bless our offering. Divine love through me blesses and increases all that I give, all that I have, and all that I receive. I give because so much has been given to me, and I am prosperous. I give because giving feels good. I gratefully give because I am generous, kind, and loving. Amen.
Know this song, please sing along. This is a sing along, okay? All right. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but just for everyone.
Wow. Between the music today and the message today, we have some wonderful things to take with us through the next week, don't we? Man. All right, have 5 quick announcements. Tomorrow at noon, MLK Monday Sacred Circle Prayer and Healing. Join us for a time of healing, reflection, and music as we honor the memory of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and affirm the healing and wholeness he envisioned for our world. Exactly what Reverend Cedric talked about today. Our healing room will be open at 11. So if you want a session in the healing room, just be here at 11. And then at noon, we'll do the prayer cycle. And it's going to be cold, we know. So just wear your warm flannels and bring your fuzzy blanket and come join us for prayer. Thursday at 7 p.m. is our January Sound Healing Bath with Ray Andrews. Hope that you'll join us for that. Next Saturday at 9 a.m., the Run Walk Club will be at Lilburn City Park Trail. So please join them for the walk, and they usually have some kind of yummy meal afterwards. And if you have any questions about it, you can see Chuck Spate. I know he's here. I think I saw him earlier. And also, our first karaoke and open mic night, formerly known as the Coffee House, on February 7th at 7 p.m. So I hope that you'll join us for that. And now, Miss Frida, would you come on up here and join me up here? Because next Sunday after the service, we are celebrating this wonderful new licensed Unity teacher. Yes. It'll be in Fellowship Hall. Food will be provided, so just bring yourself and your love, and let's celebrate Frida by wearing her favorite colors, blue, purple, and lavender. Now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Frida to close us out.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Please join me in stating our final affirmation. I allow love to use its power to enact justice in creating the beloved community. If it's comfortable for you, please stand as we sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth. And now our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever you are, God is. And we are so grateful. Grateful for you. Have a wonderful week.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.